Super Bowl champ, 8-year New York Jet, 11-year NFL vet. Can you talk about, you talked about your 8 years with the Jets, and then you going on in your 10th year to go win a Super Bowl with the Broncos. What are you seeing with the current team, with the Jets, with the current regime? Are they making strides to go into that direction of being a Super Bowl contender?
I believe they are. You have to build and start somewhere, and I hope they have the stability in the front office with Joe Douglas. He's respected around the league. They have a cachet of picks for the next few years that they can build upon. I believe that now that Tom Brady is gone, we may have the best quarterback in the division. The trade that happened, it weakened our defense, but it strengthened our future with the picks that we got, because I believe we got more in that trade than the Raiders got with the Khalil Mack trade. So we got a bounty that we can build on. We got a foundation. Last year, and one of the things that last year showed me is these guys didn't quit down the stretch when they had plenty of opportunities to. They had a very good second half of the season when all was lost. And, a lot of teams would have been packing up at that time, but they didn't. And I think they can build on that. And, I know it's going to be a different type of football this year. They're going to have to be more disciplined. They're going to have to stay home, but that can build team. That can be team building. I think the arrow is pointing up on them, man. I don't think they're that far away, particularly now that, we got the GOAT out of this division. I think the Jets can be there for a long time. But the reason why I say that is they got the thrower. They got a stud quarterback. And if he continues to develop, you can build around that. And for every team that goes to the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl, they usually have a stud quarterback. And so I think we have one finally, a young guy, a young kid, and we can build upon that. So I think they're doing well. I'm very respectful of Joe Douglas. Adam Gase is an offensive guru, so I think we can score some points. And of course, Greg Williams with his defense, they play hard. He's going to find a way to get it done with the players that he has.
Marvin, offensive guru, Adam Gase, I don't know about that.
I think once he gets, you'll see once he gets the parts and he gets more going, you'll see that his offensive creativity is going to come at. I'm very respectful of him, of some of the things that he's done with the places he's been, and he's respected from Peyton Manning and some of the players at the Dolphins. They had pretty good years after he got rid of some guys, but they still have some pretty good offensive years. So I think he's gonna step up. And I saw it even last year. Like I said, they could have laid down, but they didn't, and the offense was scoring points and they were winning games.
Well, also, if you look at the New York Jets, last year in the second half, they had one of the best records in the league. You saw Sam Darnold's development last year. You definitely see talent on this team. Jamal Adams is a guy that had opened his mouth one too many times, and I think the Jets just got sick and tired of listening to it. And unfortunately, he was a great player for the New York Jets, a 3-year player for the Jets. The Jets drafted him, and this is a kid that wants a lot of money. I have argued with Eric on this show plenty of times about Jamal Adams' mouth, and it got him into a little bit of trouble. We saw that with Odell Beckham here in New York. He used the press, and unfortunately, it didn't bode well for him. He didn't go to the Cowboys like he wanted to. He went to Seattle, and the Jets practically fleeced Seattle. If you look at that trade, look at the 2 first-round draft picks, the third, and bringing in Bradley McDougald. You got 4 players, 4 starters for 1 player, and a 4th-round draft pick in 2022. To me, the Jets are moving in the right path. I just don't know if Adam Gase is the guy. Hopefully he is, but I've been arguing and absolutely sticking up for Adam Gase. He has never coached a quality team. Go look at the team that he had with Miami. He had a starter for 22 out of the 40-some-odd games he was the head coach, and he had Tannehill. Tannehill, I do not believe, is a starter in the NFL. I've argued this over and over again. He played for the Tennessee Titans last year, and if you look at his numbers throughout the playoffs, he averaged about 80 yards a game. So you don't expect to win a Super Bowl with a guy that does that. I do believe that with Adam Gase, having Sam Darnold and another year under his belt in the Adam Gase offense, it's only going to help him.
Well, of course. And is the jury still out on Adam Gase? It could be. But if you look at him, he's had some success in San Francisco. He had success with the Broncos. They won a Super Bowl. He had success with Chicago. As a head coach with the Dolphins, who has had success down there in the last 20 years since Don Shula had retired. So now he's up here. This is his third year in his program. We should see some noticeable progress from him. I'm confident that he can do it, but the main reason why I'm confident because he has a thrower, and I believe he can do a lot of things and build around that kid. And as far as Jamal Adams and that trade, yeah, I think we did fleece Seattle because he's a safety. It's not a skill position. Sorry about that, Eric.
Come on.
And I
shots
think,
fired.
I was pointing up on that, man. And but if he wanted out and he went through media and he kept going to the media, I don't think Joe Douglas had any other choice. Particularly when Seattle gave him that offer, you had to take it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. He left the Jets with no other choice. But let's talk about, you being a former defensive lineman and the Jets having, a very young and promising quarterback, a proven running back. Can we talk about the offensive line and how important it was for Joe Douglas to bring together a quality offensive line and how much that's going to help the development of that offense?
That's the key. You have to have an offensive lineman to protect your quarterback and create some lanes for your running back and give your quarterback time to throw, and that's the one thing that maybe could hurt them this preseason because there's no preseason games because the offensive line needs time to gel. They have some talent there, but they probably need some preseason games. They don't count, but they mean something. I think that's the time for the offensive line to gel. But if that offensive line gels and grows, then you see what they did with Brady. Brady stayed upright for 19 years, and you had 8 Super Bowl appearances and 6 wins. So if we can keep this kid upright and go with an offensive line that look at Dallas, look at Seattle. Well, not Seattle. Their offensive line is here and there. But look at San Francisco and their offensive line. That's the key, man. Because football is a game that no matter what type of offense you play, on what level you play, it's won with the men up front.
Yeah, Marvin, I always talk about that. Like, how many times have you been in a game as a D lineman when they have very good skill players with a weak offensive line, or maybe like a guard or a tackle that you just felt like, oh, I got him today. It makes for a long day for that offense when your offensive line just can't touch the D line and they're in the backfield. It doesn't matter who's back there.
I'll reverse it. It makes for a long day when you have a very good offensive line. And I tell people to this day, man, the Cowboys ran 2 plays. They ran a dip and they ran a pound draw. So, but they had a great offensive lineman. So you might be committed to stop the run first, second, and third quarter, but they're going to keep pounding you. And in the fourth quarter, we'll see if you committed. And a lot of teams weren't committed. Like Green Bay Packers sweep. Everybody knew it was coming. It kept coming because you have the linemen that you have to have a dedication to be able to stop the run and get after the passer. But if you have a dominant offensive line, it gets hard. You can do it for 30 plays. You can do it for 40 plays, but try doing it for 60 and 70 plays, and they're still coming off. The pad level's there. They're still having their hand placement and the same power. The Hogs, the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Broncos team that I was on in New England, what's the commonality besides the quarterback is the offensive lineman. It's the key, just like the key for the defense is the defensive lineman. You got to be able to stop these guys. Give yourself a chance.
We are talking to ex-NFL player Marvin Washington, 11-year vet in the NFL, played for the New York Jets, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Denver Broncos. Before we let you go, Marvin, I see that you were inducted into the Idaho Hall of Fame. What is it like being inducted into a Hall of Fame?
It means I'm immortal. I'm immortal forever. That's what I tell my kids. Nah, it's something, man, of the hard work that I did in college, man. And it's a reward for that. And, I had some success there. And it was the last time that I could really play free and have not, the stress that professional football brings upon you just by being in the business. And I'm very happy to have that award. I still go back to the Palouse. I was just back there. I didn't go back there this summer, but last summer, and it's kind of special to see my name and my plaque in the locker room in the little wall of fame that they have. Seeing a couple of my teammates. One of my teammates was Mark Schiller. And I played with him with the Broncos, and we won the Super Bowl, but he won 3 of them, 1 with the Skins and 2 with the Broncos. And so it was kind of ironic, guys coming from a small Division I AA school, and we had the success that we had in the NFL. So that was special, and go Vandals.
The good old Kibby Dome.
There it is. Multi-purpose, football, basketball, soccer.
Everything, anything you need. Errol, you don't understand. Washington State University and the University of Idaho are literally like 7-8 miles away. So we used to go to Moscow, Idaho to go party. We used to go down there to hang out, and it's such a close proximity. It's a special place. A great place to go to college.
It's special when you guys when you look at both schools, they're very close together. So you guys know the area of both areas. So I think it's great. And Marvin, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us here on the Weekend Crunch. Absolutely moving forward with everything with cannabis in your industry. I hope with everything with the Tyler Skaggs thing we were talking about in the beginning of the show, hopefully the NFL and some of these professional leagues try to help some of these players and maybe get them off of drug addiction and stuff like that. So I think CBD could be a form or some kind of way to get some of these players off the drug addiction that they have.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on and let me talk about that issue, and I believe it can. And condolences to Tyler Skaggs, and you guys are bringing that up in the first session. And I'm thinking, like, this guy right here is my man, Jimi Hendrix. He passed the same way
Right.
of opiate addiction almost 50 years ago. And this problem is still pervasive in our society, and it doesn't miss athletes, entertainers, doctors, lawyers, what have you. And so if the NFL embraces it as a big sports league, then I think the country can embrace it. And I think we can make a big dent in something that is eating at the underbelly of our country, and that's opiate addiction.
No, Jimi Hendrix actually died. They found him choking on his own vomit too. So same thing that happened.
Yep. So
Same thing that happened to him.
That was 50 years ago, and it's still around. So, but now I believe that we have something that's natural, non-toxic, non-addictive, that can be regulated and given to society instead of these opiates and benzodiazepines that's killing this country. We'll lose a generation if we stay on this opiate path that we're on right now, because it's horrible.
Marvin, thank you for joining us, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Marvin.
Marvin